Hi, I'm Cameron. Not Cam, not Cammy, just Cameron. I dropped my briefcase on the kitchen counter and rolled my shoulders, trying to work out the tension that had been building all day. The house was quiet. Too quiet, considering my husband Derek should have been home hours ago. The phone rang, startling me. It was Lisa, my closest friend since college. Cameron? Thank God you answered. Have you spoken to Derek today? Lisa's voice had that tight quality it got when she was trying not to panic. No, he was supposed to be home when I got back from my conference. Why? What's going on? I overheard Ryan talking on the phone earlier. He didn't know I was in the house. Ryan was Derek's son from his first marriage, a 26-year-old who'd never quite accepted me despite my best efforts. He was saying something about teaching you a lesson, something about the house and inheritance. I couldn't hear everything, but it sounded serious. The kitchen suddenly felt colder. Are you sure it was about me? Ryan and I aren't close, but this doesn't make sense. He mentioned my dad's wife specifically, Cameron, and something about when she gets home tonight. My hand tightened around the phone. Did you tell Derek? I tried calling him 3 times. He's not picking up. That's why I called you. The doorbell rang, making me jump. Hold on. Someone's at the door. Don't answer it. Lisa's voice rose in pitch. Cameron, I really think it's probably Derek. He forgets his keys all the time. I moved toward the front hall, keeping Lisa on the line. Through the side window, I saw Officer Martinez from our local precinct. We'd met at several community events. I served on the neighborhood council. It's the police, I told Lisa. I should answer. Cameron, wait. I opened the door, still holding the phone. Officer Martinez's expression was grave. Mrs. Winters, I need you to come with me. Your husband has been in an accident. Derek? What happened? Is he okay? He's at Memorial Hospital. I can drive you there now. I grabbed my purse, telling Lisa quickly what was happening. This isn't right, she insisted. Cameron, be careful. This might be connected to what Ryan was saying. That's ridiculous. Ryan might not like me, but he wouldn't. Mrs. Winters. Officer Martinez gestured toward his patrol car. We should go. I hurried out, following him down my driveway. That's when I noticed there was no second officer, no partner waiting in the car. And the vehicle, it wasn't a standard patrol car. Wait, I began, stopping mid-stride. You're not... 2 men emerged from behind my hedges. I didn't recognize either of them, but their intentions were clear from their stance and the dark knit caps pulled low. Inside the car, Mrs. Winters, the fake officer said, dropping all pretense of courtesy. What is this? Where's Derek? Your husband's fine, for now. But we need to have a conversation about your stepson's inheritance. My phone was still connected to Lisa. I let it fall from my hand onto the driveway, hoping she would hear and call for real help. Ryan sent you, didn't he? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady while scanning for any escape route. The fake officer's smile confirmed my suspicion. Let's just say he's tired of waiting for what's rightfully his. The sound of actual police sirens cut through the night air before I could be forced into the vehicle. Lisa had heard everything through the phone and acted quickly. The men scattered, the fake officer cursing as he ran toward a waiting car at the end of the block. 2 hours later, I sat in the actual police station with Detective Morgan, a middle-aged woman with shrewd eyes who'd been taking my statement. You're certain it was your stepson behind this? She asked, tapping her pen against her notepad. His friend Lisa overheard him planning something, and they specifically mentioned my stepson's inheritance, I explained. Derek's first wife passed away 10 years ago, leaving their house to Derek. Ryan always believed it should have gone to him. And where is your husband now? At the hospital with his brother. He really was in an accident today. Minor fender bender, but he's fine. The timing is disturbing. Detective Morgan nodded slowly. We'll need to speak with Ryan. He'll deny everything, I said. He always does. The door opened and my brother-in-law Michael entered, looking exhausted. Cameron, thank God you're okay. Derek's losing his mind with worry. Is he still at the hospital? No, he's in the waiting room here. They wouldn't let him in during your statement. Detective Morgan stood. Mr. Winters can come in now. We're nearly finished. Derek burst through the door seconds later, wrapping me in a tight embrace. Cameron, I'm so sorry. I should have been home. This isn't your fault, I assured him, though I wasn't entirely convinced. But we need to talk about Ryan. Derek's body stiffened. Ryan? What does he have to do with this? Mrs. Winters believes your son may have orchestrated this incident, Detective Morgan explained. That's impossible. Ryan wouldn't... Lisa overheard him, Derek, and the men mentioned his inheritance specifically. Derek pulled away from me, his expression hardening. So you're immediately blaming my son, without any proof? Derek, Michael interjected. You need to listen. This is serious. I am listening, and what I'm hearing is my wife accusing my son of attempted kidnapping without any real evidence. They were going to force me into a car, Derek, I said, struggling to keep my voice even. They knew about the inheritance dispute, which everyone knows about because you bring it up at every family gathering. Derek's voice rose. Ryan has his issues, but he wouldn't do this. Detective Morgan cleared her throat. Mr. Winters, we'll be questioning your son regardless. This is a serious incident. Michael placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. Derek, think about this logically. Who else would have a motive? I don't know, but it's not my son. It can't be. Derek turned to me, betrayal written across his face. I can't believe you're doing this, Cameron, after everything I've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I echoed, incredulous. What is that supposed to mean? I think what Derek means, Michael intervened, is that this is a difficult situation for everyone. Cameron, I believe you. And Derek will too once he's had time to think. We have the description of the suspects, Detective Morgan added. And we're pulling security footage from your neighbor's cameras. If your stepson is involved, we'll find evidence. Derek shook his head. I'm going to call Ryan right now. This is all a misunderstanding. Actually, the detective said, please don't alert him. We'll handle the initial contact. As Derek sank into a chair, visibly distressed, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Lisa. Check your email. I recorded Ryan's phone call. The police station conference room felt too small for the tension filling it. Ryan sat across from me, flanked by his lawyer, a pinch-faced woman who kept whispering in his ear. Detective Morgan and the district attorney, a man named Harrington, sat to my right. Derek had chosen to stand in the corner, looking like he'd aged 10 years in 2 days. Let's be clear about what we have, Harrington began, sliding a folder across the table. Voice recordings connecting you to the men who attempted to abduct Mrs. Winters. Phone records showing calls between you and the primary suspect, who has already confessed to his role. And financial transactions from your account to his. Ryan's lawyer leaned forward. My client maintains his innocence. These could be coincidences. $4,000 transferred the day before the incident is a coincidence? Detective Morgan asked. He owed me money, Ryan said, speaking for the first time. His eyes never met mine. And that recording is meaningless. You can't prove what we were discussing. Actually, I said, finally breaking my silence, Lisa recorded more than just that one call. She recorded your conversation afterward, when you were panicking about the police being called. Ryan's face went pale. You're bluffing. Would you like to hear it? I pulled out my phone. You said, and I quote, the plan went sideways. She was supposed to sign over the house to avoid Derek getting hurt, but now the cops are involved. That's taken out of context. Ryan's lawyer interjected quickly. There is no context that makes that statement innocent, Harrington replied. Mr. Winters, you're facing conspiracy charges, attempted extortion, and attempted kidnapping. We have enough to proceed to trial, but we're willing to discuss a plea arrangement. This is insane, Ryan exploded, slamming his hand on the table. Dad, you know I wouldn't do this. Tell them. Derek finally moved from his corner, approaching the table slowly. The police found the messages on your computer, Ryan. You told them where to wait for Cameron. You told them about Derek's accident and to use that to lure her out. Dad, I can explain. I've spent 2 days making excuses for you, Derek continued, his voice breaking. Telling myself there must be some mistake, but there isn't, is there? Ryan's composure cracked. You changed your will. After you married her, you changed everything to include her. That house was supposed to be mine. Mom wanted me to have it. Your mother wanted us both to be taken care of, Derek corrected. And I didn't change my will until you started gambling again. The house was always going to be yours eventually, but I needed to protect our assets. By giving them to her? Ryan jabbed a finger toward me. She's only been in your life for 5 years. I'm your son. And as my son, Derek said quietly, I expected better from you. These men could have hurt Cameron. Did you even think about that? They weren't supposed to hurt her, Ryan insisted. Just scare her into signing over her claim to the property. I couldn't stay silent any longer. Ryan, I never wanted your mother's house. I've told you that repeatedly. Derek and I were planning to sell it and split the proceeds. Half for us, half for you. That's a lie, Ryan spat. You've been trying to turn Dad against me from day one. No, Ryan, Derek said, finally sitting down at the table. That's exactly what we discussed last Christmas, but you were too angry to listen. And now? He gestured around the conference room. Now look where we are. Ryan turned to his lawyer, desperation in his eyes. Tell them I want the deal. Whatever it is, I'll take it. The judge approved the restraining order, Michael told me as we left the courthouse 3 weeks later. Ryan can't come within 500 feet of you or the house. I nodded, feeling hollow rather than victorious. How's Derek doing today? Better, I think. He's finally accepted that Ryan needs consequences if he's ever going to change. The plea deal had been finalized the previous day. 2 years probation, mandatory counseling, and restitution payments for the emotional distress he'd caused. The district attorney had pushed for jail time, but I'd advocated for treatment instead. Not for Ryan's sake, but for Derek's. Cameron, Lisa called, waiting by her car in the parking lot. How did it go? As expected, I replied as she pulled me into a hug. You're too forgiving, she whispered. After what he tried to do. I'm not forgiving him, I clarified, stepping back. I'm just choosing not to let his actions dictate my life anymore. Michael checked his watch. Derek should be finishing at the realtor's office soon. Want to meet him for lunch? You two go ahead. I need some time. After they left, I sat on a bench outside the courthouse, watching people come and go. My phone buzzed with a text from Derek. House listing goes live tomorrow. Still sure about this? We'd decided to sell both properties, the house I'd shared with Derek and the one that had belonged to his first wife. The plan was to use the proceeds to start fresh somewhere new, somewhere without the weight of the past. I typed back, absolutely sure. Another message came through almost immediately. Ryan's therapist called. He wants to meet to apologize. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Derek had been pushing for reconciliation, insisting that Ryan was genuinely remorseful. But I remembered the look in Ryan's eyes in that conference room. Not regret for what he'd done, but anger at being caught. Not ready for that, I replied. Maybe someday, but not now. I understand, Derek texted back, though I wondered if he truly did. I put my phone away and watched a young couple exit the courthouse, laughing together. 5 minutes later, Officer Martinez, the real one, spotted me from across the plaza and came over. Mrs. Winters, how are you holding up? I'm managing, thank you. And thank you again for your testimony. It made a difference. He nodded solemnly. That's the job? But between us, I'm glad he's getting help rather than jail time. Seen too many young men get worse in the system instead of better. I hope you're right, I said, though doubt lingered. My phone rang. Derek again. Cameron, you'll never believe who just called me. Who? The developer who's been trying to buy the block for years. He heard both properties are going on the market, and he's offering 15% above asking, sight unseen. I felt a small smile form, the first genuine one in weeks. That's unexpected good news. It means we could start over sooner. Maybe look at those coastal properties you've been researching. That sounds perfect, I agreed, feeling a weight lift slightly. Not gone, but lighter. That evening, Derek and I sat on our patio watching the sunset. The air between us had changed, still tense at times, but clearing. I spoke with Ryan's counselor today, Derek said, breaking our comfortable silence. I stiffened. Derek, I've told you. I know, and I respect that, he said quickly. But I need to tell you what she said. He took my hand. Ryan admitted something important. He said he knew all along that you weren't after the money. His actions weren't about the inheritance at all. Then what were they about? Control? Anger? Refusing to accept change? Derek looked at me directly. She said he's finally beginning to understand the damage he's caused. That's progress, I acknowledged, but it doesn't undo what happened. No, it doesn't, Derek agreed. And I don't expect you to forgive him. I just wanted you to know that he's starting to face the truth. I squeezed his hand. Thank you for telling me. And thank you for choosing us, even when it was difficult. Always, he promised. After hanging up, I walked to my car, passing the courthouse steps where Ryan had stood with his lawyer weeks earlier, trying to explain away his actions to the press. The memory no longer stung as sharply. I thought about the question people kept asking me. Was justice served? Ryan avoided jail, kept his job, and would eventually return to normal life. But he'd lost his father's trust, damaged his reputation, and would forever live with the knowledge that his own choices led to these consequences. As for me, I was rebuilding on my terms. Have you ever had to choose between justice and peace? Sometimes the line between them isn't as clear as we might hope.